You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Hello everyone, welcome into the RebZone, a special edition of the RebZone from inside the Thomas & Mack. We're having to be flexible this week, make adjustments due to COVID-19. Just want to give a big shout out to everyone dealing with COVID-19, parents, students, athletes, coaches having to be flexible, making adjustments, working on Zoom, working from home again. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we're doing this all over again, but just a big shout out to everyone in Las Vegas making those adjustments, especially the Runnin' Rebels, who have had to make a lot of adjustments recently, dealing with a lot of adversities since their return from the holidays, having a week off due to COVID-19, 2 games postponed due to COVID-19, and games still being postponed, their schedule still being flexible as they are no longer traveling to San Diego State on Tuesday. Instead, they're hitting the road to San Jose State on Monday, and they have another road game at Air Force on Thursday. So a lot of adjustments the Runnin' Rebels are having to make, but just everyone in our community right now. But a tough week for the Runnin' Rebels. Coming back from COVID-19, the guys felt energized, hungry to get back to work, and came out with a big win over New Mexico. The guys were happy to be back in practice this week in full force, but fell short against Fresno State, putting up a fight towards the end of the game, but just not finishing the job. But first, let's start with a big win on Tuesday night against New Mexico. We'll be sitting down with Kevin Kruger tonight at the Thomas & Mack as he tells me COVID-19 ran through almost everyone in his program. So UNLV was preparing for New Mexico with just 7 players. But luckily, the whole squad was back and healthy in full force on Tuesday, just in time to host New Mexico. And that whole Runnin' Rebel squad was energized after having a week off. Bryce Hamilton drains a big 3 from the top of the key. UNLV comes out hot, leading 7-0, but I'm talking like real hot. Hamilton to Donovan Stretch Williams, bringing down the house on Tuesday night. Rebels keep it rolling. Jordan McCabe to Josh Baker, and it's the Shake and Bake show, baby. We're sitting down with Josh Baker later tonight on the RebZone. UNLV opens up the game with a 12-0 run. Later, Lobos, KJ Jenkins on fire in the first half, leading his team with 15 first half points. New Mexico trails 14-10. Rebels not backing down. Keyshawn Gilbert, the freshman, drains a 3 as he falls down. Big bucket from the freshman. UNLV leading 18-10. Lobos keep scratching back. Jenkins trims New Mexico's deficit, trailing 20-17. UNLV keeps the foot on the gas. Baker to David Mawaka. Big man, big dunk. UNLV pulls away 29-19. And check out this no-look pass from McCabe to Marvin Coleman, who just glides past Saquon Singleton. He's like, yeah, you can't see me. You can't see me. All right, Marv. UNLV takes a 40-30 lead at halftime. Runnin' Rebels come out with some second half heat. Mike Nuga pokes the ball away from Jalen House, passes it down to B. Ham with a big dunk. UNLV putting on a show at the Thomas & Mack, leading 50-36. Jenkins would hit his 5th 3-point basket of the night as New Mexico trails 54-42. But it was Donovan Williams who locked it down on both ends of the floor, leading the team with 29 points. UNLV dominates New Mexico on Tuesday night, 85-56. We'll be sitting down with Coach Kruger here shortly, but here's more from the players on their dominant performance following their COVID-19 season pause.
During COVID, this was my second time having it, and I was just bored. Like, I had no symptoms. I was fine. I felt great. So I was just sitting in the house bored, watching a lot of film. So I know the first time I got back on the court, I told myself I wouldn't take this for granted. I mean, basketball is a precious game, and someday the ball will stop bouncing. So every time you get out there on that floor, you got to cherish every moment. So that's what I decided to do tonight.
We just got together and we just went to the gym. The guys that could go to the gym, we practiced, we worked hard. The guys that couldn't, we talked to them. Their heads were still right. And I think, like he said, the guys, none of the guys really had any crazy symptoms. So I mean, for the guys that didn't have COVID or weren't in quarantine, we kind of just got a week break to get our legs back under us after that San Diego State game. And I think we just kind of rested up, and we really were fired up because we missed 2 games.
You said on Tuesday night after the game you were a little nervous. You weren't sure how your guys were going to come out and respond and play, but you were really impressed with Tuesday night. Talk to me about the New Mexico game and your team's response from COVID.
Yeah, didn't know. We just didn't know what the wind was going to be like, and didn't know how they were going to feel. But I mean, they had cleared all the necessary medical steps to play, but they didn't have time to prepare. So we were really proud of them. They played with kind of a youthful energy of just happy to be in the gym, having fun playing. And so I was just really proud of them for coming out and doing what they needed to do in isolation, because they had clearly done some prep work for New Mexico so that they would be ready to go as soon as they got out.
How challenging was this week getting your guys back, getting them back in practice, and just their response from COVID-19?
I think the toughest part is just not knowing, just the unknowing, guys coming back, when they were coming back, because they all just don't come back at the same time. So just constantly being on the phone, being ready, explaining to them how things go and how their situation is and how it's handled, but they're all different. And so, yeah, playing on Tuesday was, we had everybody back kind of at the 11th hour, and then just kind of went from there.
Yeah, do you respect how hard your guys fought through COVID with maturity, responsibility, came out on Tuesday and laid it all out there?
I am. I haven't heard one time a player complain about the protocols and the rules that are in place for a positive COVID test. And I think that shows a lot of the maturity. They're very frustrated that they didn't get to play and they had to go into isolation, but they weren't saying this is dumb, it's not, it shouldn't be this way, I'm fine, because we did have some asymptomatic guys, but they understood the severity of everything going on and the CDC protocols that are in place, and they followed it. They spent their time in isolation, and then they came out. Was the energy higher this week just because the guys were happy to be back together in the gym? Yeah, I think so. You could definitely say that. They definitely, when they got out, they were excited to be out, and they were excited to be back in the gym, and now they know that with the current protocols that are in place, they've got a little bit of time here where they don't have to have the same level of stress of another positive test. So I think there's some excitement there for them too.
All right, coming up next, we're breaking down the Runnin' Rebels' Friday night loss to Fresno State. UNLV rallying late down the stretch, but the Runnin' Rebels fall short against the Bulldogs, falling to 1-2 in conference play. We'll break down the game next with Coach Kruger.
You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5. You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the Runnin' Rebels' fight against Fresno State on Friday night. UNLV coming off a big 85-56 win over New Mexico on Tuesday, and the Bulldogs were coming off a 20-point win against San Jose State. It was all Orlando Robinson at the start of the game. The Las Vegas native, 7-foot, 235-pound forward, was all over the court, scoring the first 6 points of the game. UNLV fights back. Josh Baker swings it to Royce Ham Jr. Royce was fighting on Friday night, posting 14 points and 8 rebounds. UNLV trails 8-7. Later, Keyshawn Gilbert picks up the loose ball, passes it to Justin Webster in transition. Webster draining his first 3 of the night. UNLV leads 16-10, 1 minute left in the first half. Bulldogs' Deion Strouds pulls up and knocks down a big 3. Fresno State leads by 10 at halftime, 33-23. Second half, Royce Ham Jr. turns it up. McCabe throws it to Bryce Hamilton, too easy. UNLV still trails by 10 points, 53-43. Donovan Yap, the former Runnin' Rebel, would float it up for 2. Bulldogs on top, 59-46. The Runnin' Rebels would keep grinding the Texas boys. Royce Ham Jr. to Donovan Williams, who takes flight. UNLV trails 61-52. Rebels hit some big 3-point baskets down the stretch, but would fall short against Fresno State, 73-68, falling to 1-2 in conference play.
Yeah, I feel like we played pretty good in the first half. I mean, You know, we played good defense. They shot about less than 40%. I think it's more the second half. You know, they shot about 60%. You know, we just got to be able to stay consistent, get stops, and just finish the possession with a defensive rebound. You know, they get too many second chance points, and we let them get to the free throw line too much.
Want to talk about Fresno State, just the challenges they brought tonight, and specifically starting with the first half. What did you want to see from your guys just to find more rhythm on offense?
Yeah, I just thought Fresno did a really good job of kind of stalling us a little bit. We just seemed to catch and hold, and we seemed to just kind of be hesitant. And then in the second half, you saw that we had much better ball movement, got from side to side. We caught where we wanted to catch, and every time we caught it, we had an idea. We had a plan, and I thought Fresno in the first half did a really good job of kind of taking us out of that and breaking our rhythm, and that would ended up being the difference in the game, was that little stretch where we just couldn't score.
When your guys are hesitant and start kind of slow, what are you telling them at halftime? What are those halftime adjustments?
The main thing we talk about is just the base, like playing with a low base, playing strong, you know, catching with a plan, you know. Starting somewhere different, you know, that goes into catching where you want to catch it, and you know they don't quite see it like we see it. You know, it's easier to poke at it, you know, when you're just standing on the sideline. But it's not always that simple, and that's just kind of what we continue to talk about, because I think in the second half the guys found their rhythm, and they've done that the last handful of games. And even for the majority of the night, I thought we got good looks. We did a good job getting in the paint. We just hit that one stretch where we couldn't get things going.
Yeah, Royce Ham Jr., just a fighter this week. What do you have to say about Royce's performances?
Always been proud of Royce. I mean, Royce has been a fighter since the day we first talked to him, you know, 6 years ago or whatever in high school, and in the recruiting process then. And I mean, just proud of him. I mean, the thing about Royce is you always want to be his teammate. You want to be his friend. You want to have him around, have him in your life, because he's positive. He plays incredibly hard. He's incredibly unselfish, and he lays it all out on the floor. I mean, he had a tough matchup tonight, but he gave it all he could. Got some big rebounds late, and Royce just kind of doing Royce things.
And coming up next, it's the Shake and Bake Show. Josh Baker, the JUCO transfer, has found his groove this season, gaining the trust of his coaches and teammates. He tells me it's his older brother, who went on to play overseas, that paved the path for him.
You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5. You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Show, Josh Baker has been shaking and baking with his new team, finding his groove, letting it fly from deep. The junior transfer from Hutchinson Community College in Kansas tells me he grew up in a big basketball family, and it was his older brother Jordan who paved the way for him.
I'm the youngest of 6. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters, and they all kind of played basketball, but some kind of drifted away, did some other stuff. But one of my brothers, he was a Gatorade Player of the Year in high school, his senior year. Yeah, he had went to Pepperdine, then he had went overseas. He had went to China, New Mexico, places like that. So a lot of my basketball starts from him and my dad. I started playing when I was around 3.
Baker's older brother Jordan never misses a game and continues to mentor him, as family is a big part of Baker's life. It's his why. It's his motivation to succeed.
Yeah, I would say my mom and just my family in general. Just that I want to get them out of the situation that they're in. Just I want to retire my mom, retire the rest of my family. So I'm going hard for this for sure for them.
Baker comes to UNLV after playing 2 seasons at Hutchinson Community College in Kansas, where he was named the Jayhawk West Freshman of the Year and second team All Jayhawk West.
Being in Kansas was a great experience for me, especially because it was kind of like in the middle of nowhere. And at that time in my life, I kind of needed that, just to be away, get my mind right, focus on school, basketball, and my dreams that I was trying to achieve. You know, so being there, meeting those people there, it was actually a great experience and a cultural experience, actually, just being away from family for the first time. So and it shaped me to be who I am today.
Baker tells me the week off due to COVID-19 was hard to take an abrupt pause in the middle of their season and quarantine in their rooms. But Baker tried his best to stay ahead of the game.
Really, I used that time to talk to a lot of families, see what was going on, just touch base with them. And then as far as the basketball aspect, like being locked in your room is not so much you can do. So I try to be on huddle, watch as much film on the team as we can, just know their traits as what they do on the court, just try to prepare that way.
And as Baker continues to grow and find his confidence this season, he tells me, of course, he loves his new team.
It's been everything I prayed for and some more, as far as on the court and off the court. Like, the coaching staff is so perfect for me, especially how I like to play the game, and off the court they're such a great coaching staff. My teammates, they've been a present delight, I would say the least, you know what I'm saying? So they're funny. It's always good being around them. It's close to home. I'm from Arizona, so it's kind of the perfect spot for me.
Gotta say, Baker is always smiling a positive light on this team. Here's what Kevin Kruger has to say about the Bake Show.
I think Josh has done a great job coming over from junior college. There can be a little bit of a learning process just being 2 years somewhere else, like a lot of the transfers. But the difference in junior college versus the Big 12 or the WAC, as some of them came from, it's a bigger step up. And I think what Josh has done a really good job of trying to know exactly what we're saying as coaches, and he wants to know exactly what we're talking about. And the progress he's made in terms of our vision as a staff of how we want this game to be played, or how we want our team to play it, it's been monumental. His growth, he does everything we ask defensively. He tries to do everything we ask offensively, and I think that's why he's had a good start and a good progress from game one, and he's just going to continue to grow. And on top of that, he's a great teammate. He's a great guy. So the future is bright for Bake.
All right, well, the Shake and Bake Show is getting ready to hit the road tomorrow when the Runnin' Rebels travel to face San Jose State tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. We'll talk all about the Runnin' Rebels schedule this week that has changed 2-3 times now, and hey, could possibly change again.
You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5. You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
So it's been one postponed game after another this season due to COVID-19. The Runnin' Rebels game on Tuesday at San Diego State has been postponed, so instead UNLV is traveling to play San Jose State on the road tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. The Spartans are 7-7 this season, dropping 2 straight to Fresno State and Colorado State. The Rams dominated San Jose State this weekend 78-42. The Runnin' Rebels will stay on the road this week, traveling to Air Force on Thursday. The Falcons are 8-6 this season, dropping 2 straight to Colorado State and Reno. And then the Runnin' Rebels will be wrapping up their week hosting San Jose State on Saturday at noon. So due to COVID-19 postponements and rescheduling, the Runnin' Rebels have 3 games on tap this week. What is challenging about preparing for one team and then having the switch turned on and now you're preparing for another team?
It can be difficult just because they're not all the same, of course. So a team that does something well, the next team might not. So you just have to switch your approach a little bit. But I think as much as anything, we've learned that we just need to continue to work on what we feel we're good at and what we feel we need to be better at, and then focus less on the specifics maybe of an opponent, and just continue to work, continue to get better, and spending time in the gym, and then just knowing that when we go out and play, just feeling confident in what we do.
Yeah, San Jose State and Air Force on the road this week. What do you want to see from your guys just moving forward and keep improving on defense?
Yeah, just that. I just want to see them with an open mind. You know, come into the workout tomorrow ready, because this is a unique week in terms of playing 2 different styles, and both on the road in San Jose, and then going to play the Air Force on the road. It's 2 tough, challenging games and challenging trips, and I just want them tomorrow to come with an open mind, ready to learn, ask questions, get even more on the same page, gel with each other. And I think if we can do that, regardless of the 5-on-5 stuff, we'll get better tomorrow.
Lastly, Coach, I mean, your team was hit with COVID. Your coaches were hit with COVID. How did you like your group coming together and not using that as an excuse or a crutch at all this week?
I'm proud of them. I mean, they came back and ready for New Mexico and then turned around and played a great defensive team and a great team in Fresno. And I'm proud of them. I mean, they've come to work every day. And none of them have mentioned that, you know, they can't catch their breath or they can't do this. And we've made it very clear to them that if they're not feeling good, to speak up. You know, there is no tough guy coming off of COVID in the first few weeks until you get your legs back underneath you. But proud of them for working, and really proud of them for recognizing where we can get better. Because I think now that as they continue to take more and more ownership of it in their progress, we can still continue to get better throughout the year.
All right, we're getting ready to hit the road with the Runnin' Rebels traveling to San Jose State tomorrow night. Tip-off against the Spartans is set for 6 o'clock. The guys will come back and then get ready for Air Force, a road trip on Thursday night. And then UNLV wraps up their week with the Spartans hosting San Jose State here at the Thomas & Mack on Saturday. So a lot of flying around for us this week with the Runnin' Rebels, but we have you covered all season long right here on the RebZone. Take care, guys. Stay safe this week, and we'll see you next Sunday.
You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5. Thanks for watching Fox 5 News. Watch us live wherever you are, on our mobile, on our streaming news app. And you can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.